appearance on Dion's Daily Dose does not imply endorsement from or by any candidate or guest. The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed by Dion Bergeron or Dion's Daily Dose are his own and do not represent the views, thoughts, and opinions of any guest. Material and information presented is for general information purposes only. The Dion's Daily Dose name in all forms and abbreviations are the property of its owners, and its use does not imply endorsement of or opposition to any specific organization, product, or service. If you'd like to support the show, please visit our Patreon at patreon.com/Dion's Daily Dose.
Hi, guys and gals. Ghosts and ghouls.
Hi, Dion. Thanks for having me again.
Thanks for coming, man. All right. So we got a lot to get into. For those of you who are new to the channel, I'm Dion.
And I'm Shawn.
And we are doing a face-to-face where we discuss local and national news that affects us locally and
international.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There is.
We have some international.
Yeah, especially today. Oh, my God. All right. So the first thing we're going to get into, I think, is the whole Mrvan fundraising situation. So our representative for U.S. Congress is Frank Mrvan. He's a Democrat out of Highland, Indiana, and he covers the 1st District, which is pretty much the entirety of Northwest Indiana. So he is significantly outpacing his potential Republican opponents in fundraising. We actually have the numbers, and I'm gonna say this: the only one who's even like really fundraising out of the Republicans is Niemeyer.
Yeah, Leva got like 350, and then Ben Roos is native. Didn't it say that in the article?
Yeah, let's take a look here. What the article says. I just want the numbers. So okay, 2-term rep. Knew I was forgetting something. All right. Sorry if you guys couldn't hear me before. All right. 2-term rep Mrvan had a $1.15 million in his campaign account as of March 31st after taking in $510,000 in contributions during the first 3 months of the year. Nearly all that money and any more he raises will be available for him to spend in the months leading up to the November 5th general, because he's by himself on the ballot, the D side. Nobody's challenging him. Nearly all of it. So records show his current account balance also is almost 3 times the cash on hand Mrvan reported at the end of the first quarter of 2022, when he had his toughest race so far against Jennifer Ruth Green. So he's got way more money now, which it should be a little concerning to the Republicans. But in comparison, this year's best funded Northwest Indiana Republican congressional candidate, which is Lake County Councilman Randy Niemeyer, he had $307,000 in his campaign account after receiving contributions totaling $191,000 between January and March. Records show slightly more than half of Niemeyer's first quarter donations were routed to his campaign through the Grow the Majority Joint Fundraising Committee, led by House Speaker Mike Johnson, who has endorsed Niemeyer. And I'm wondering if that's going to come and bite him in his ass, personally. Johnson's not real popular with conservatives right now, but we'll get to that.
All right.
It's not clear how Niemeyer's campaign fundraising will be impacted if a few disaffected House Republicans successfully advance a pending motion to remove Johnson.
Which it's up to 3 now.
Yeah, it's moving along. So, but in the meantime, good old Leva had just $338 on hand. And I'm going to say this. I ran in this race back in 2020. You need more than $338 to present a real challenge to Mark Leva, especially because at that time, 2020, it was an open seat. Like Leva was, or Mrvan wasn't in yet.
No.
So anytime it's an open seat, you face an easier time. The easiest time to beat an incumbent is 2022. They're after the end of their first term. We're not in that now. Now he's firmly entrenched.
And you're
going to need money.
And you see the party now backing Mrvan.
Right. So we'll get to that because he's got donations from all across the nation. So second-time GOP candidate Ruiz of East Chicago reported a campaign account balance of negative $831, along with $1,580 in debt.
Ouch.
So it's going to be a lot. The really big money is going to the gubernatorial, and it gets into that. But I don't know, dude. It's gonna be an interesting race, no matter what. I personally think Niemeyer has it. In the
Denomination.
In the primary.
Okay,
yeah. In the primary, I think Niemeyer pulls it off.
It's going to be a mountain to climb for the prime or for the general.
Yeah, the general, that's a whole other story, and it's going to be an interesting race. I do believe that because, yeah, Mrvan has all this money. Where did this money come from? We're going to show you where it came from. So let me bring it up. But do you want to talk about what you found?
Okay.
While I get the page up.
I want to give him credit that 60% of his campaign was average people donating.
Yeah, 60% of the donations.
I say about 60%. I was going through the whole list, yes.
Right? From people. Okay.
And then the other part, he got a lot from the Democratic Party.
Yeah. So I'm actually gonna. Well, I can't track it. So
he got money from former Speaker Pelosi.
Yeah. So it looks here, 1.7 million. Now there's transfers of only 40,000 from other authorized committees, which you can do that if you change committee or you did go from one federal committee to another. That's really nothing to be that worried about. There's the disbursements. Okay, so where did it come from? So there various committees to elect have given him money. There's $1,000 from Committee to Elect Kyle Allen Sr., International Association of Heat and Frost Insulators, the various political action committees, right? Leading People Forward PAC, various union. Here we go. Act Blue. Now, is this where you're talking about?
Yeah.
The small donations. Have you seen the coverage that shows Act Blue? WinRed does it too. Before we, don't get it twisted. But Act Blue is funneling money and putting people's names on it that did not donate.
I've seen that. Yeah.
WinRed does it a little. Act Blue does it like we're talking billions of dollars being transferred this way. This money comes from unknown sources, and they claim this little old lady that donated to the Democrats back in 2008 to get Obama elected got, she gave this campaign $5,000. They've contacted people and they've said, no, I never gave money to any of these people. So that's something to watch out for with all these Act Blue ones. But we've got, various people. Okay. Joel Rubenstein, Michael Kingston, Act Blue. There's 2,300 entries.
Do you want to
give the most notable ones?
I got a list.
Yep.
I was going through the Fox Corporation PAC gave Mrvan
Fox News?
The parent company of Fox. I'm talking Fox Corporation.
Fox Corporation gave Mrvan how much?
That one I didn't check to see how much it was.
I am interested in that. Let me see if I can find that. Can we search through these?
I don't like how this site is set up. It's very difficult.
Oh, wait a minute. Here's something. Hold on.
Should I keep? Another thing that was interesting is Boeing Company gave
Fox Corporation. Here it is.
Okay.
Okay,
maybe
it's
not
showing up.
I thought his name was on
report time period. Okay, hold on. Well, anyway, go ahead.
Okay,
I'll find it.
Boeing Company gave Mrvan some money.
Let's look. Boeing. That's also the Boeing company. They gave him $1,000. So the Boeing company gave Frank Mrvan's political action committee $1,000.
And they've been in the news quite a bit.
They have. Boeing has been heavily featured in our news. Okay.
Another one is the Maxwell Frost for Congress, and he's one of the most far left people from Florida. Part of AOC's squad gave him.
Oh, here it is. Yep. Fox Corporation. Oh, sorry, guys. Let me get this back on screen.
Oh, you found the Fox?
I did. Yeah, let me get this back on screen. Okay, so here's Fox Corporation Political Action Committee, Fox PAC, Mrvan for Congress, $1,000. I'm going to go back and I'm going to show you guys Boeing since I forgot it wasn't on there. There's Boeing, the Boeing PAC, $1,000.
How about you want to look up Maxwell Frost?
Yep.
The Democrat congressman from Florida.
Maxwell Alejandro Frost for Congress. He gave Frank Mrvan $1,000.
Okay.
Okay. And then
about Nancy Pelosi.
Yeah, let's look up Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi for Congress, $2,000.
Okay.
Two different ones. She gave him $2,000 for the primary and $2,000 for the general. Yep, last year, 2023.
How about the new?
He wasn't in there was no election for him in 2023.
No. Mm-hmm. How about that new economy pack?
Okay, so let's see here. New. Let's just put new. Let's see what we got. Okay, we got a lot in there. Oh, there's only 25. All right, so new Democrat Coalition Fund, New York Life Insurance, $5,000. Interesting. Why is New York Life Insurance Company PAC giving him $5,000?
Yeah, that is interesting.
New Democrat Coalition Action Fund, $500. New Democrat Coalition Action Fund, $1,000. Then various people. New Economy PAC, here it is, $1,000. New Democrat Coalition Action Fund, another $2,500. Here we go, 1,000, 1,000, 500, 500, 2,500, 500, 1,000, 5,000. Maxwell guy, 1,000, 4,000, 1,000. Then the Nancy Pelosi stuff. So this new Democrat Coalition Action Fund is heavily sponsoring Frank Mrvan.
Yeah.
So let's look. First of all, let's click on this new Democrat Coalition Action Fund and let's see what this is. This is the data from FEC, guys. This is, this isn't a. Okay. So it looks like total receipts, they have $3,073,696. Let's see here. Where is the about this committee? So they are in Washington, D.C., amazingly enough, right? Their treasurer is Helen Milby. They're a qualified PAC. Their statement of organization was filed 8/17/2023. So they're new.
Yeah, that's really new.
That's very new for all this money to be being thrown around. So look, we're not going to make the whole show about digging through Mrvan's financials because we could. There's a lot there. You want to see this, look it up on the FEC. Mrvan for Congress. All this stuff is there.
Yep.
And I'm going to show you guys on the left-hand side of the screen, when you go here, right, you'll find it, the FEC, and then on the left-hand side of the screen, you can edit it, right? So you can put in various filters. That's how I found Fox and all this. You can search by place. You can search by city. You can find out a lot of information there. Use it. Discover where the money's coming from the people that are on your ballot. It's just that simple. Remember how we're told follow the money? That's good advice no matter what your political leaning. Follow the money. Where does the money come from? Who wants these people elected and why? All right. Moving on.
All right. What the next topic you want to talk about? Israel striking back at Iran?
Yeah, okay. So let's talk about Israel for a minute.
All right.
We had a lively discussion before we came in here. My wife and us had a lively discussion about Israel and about funding Israel. My personal opinion, I'm tired of funding other countries. We're sending billions and billions of dollars across the globe. You personally feel that we should continue to fund Israel.
Okay, yes, Israel. I thought you were going to say Ukraine too.
Ukraine's another side. We'll tackle
Israel,
Ukraine
yes,
in a minute. But Israel,
because they're under attack.
Okay. But how much of that, and this is just a rhetorical question, don't come at me in the comments, guys. How much of that is their fault? It's just a question. You don't even have to answer. It's just a thought experiment.
Okay.
Think about how much of that is their fault. Recently, Iran had attacked Israel. Well, Israel attacked Iran. Iran responded with a bunch of drones that didn't do any damage to anything. Well, it might have done a little damage, but it didn't hurt anybody. It was like, what, 5,000 or 500, 5,000, a crap load of drones. They shot them all down.
With U.S. money, with help. Iron Dome.
That's it right there. And that's the key. U.S. money is funding this. I'm tired of funding anything that's not here in the United States. Now, there are those that say, well, Israel's our biggest ally in the region, and they're the only democracy. These are people who are slaughtering, and we can have the Hamas discussion in a second. Hold on. I know you have feelings. I just want to get this out.
Okay.
These are people who, and I'm talking about the government. I want to make a very clear distinction. Just like here in the United States, our government sucks, but I love Americans and I love my country. Their government sucks. And their government is funding the killing of civilians. Now, go ahead.
All right. The reason they attacked Iran was because Iran is funding these groups, Hamas and Hezbollah and different groups that are going after Israel.
Okay.
And I didn't even hear about the stories about what Israel is doing. I just hear the stories about how Israel is going after the terrorists. See, so that's kind of, right. I'm not aware of the stuff that you and Wiz were talking about earlier.
And this leads us into something else, because I think it's really, really important, guys. TikTok ban is on this thing that they just passed. Why do they want TikTok banned so much? This is my thoughts, right? And it kind of goes into the conspiracy theory topic just a little bit, right? But if you look at Facebook files, Twitter files, Google files, the government has been putting pressure on social media companies to censor Americans for a while now.
And that's well documented.
You're right. Yeah, there's tons of evidence out there. You don't have to take my word for it. Look it up. The government and various governmental agencies, the FBI, etc. Remember, they tried to do the Disinformation Bureau, and
they did.
People said, oh, hell no. That exists. It just doesn't have the physical name and structure that they tried to sell you. It's still there, and it's been there for a while.
And a lot of the people on that committee are Soros-connected people,
correct,
too.
So they try and have succeeded in getting, look at what's happening in Brazil right now with X. This is just a more blatant version of what's been going on in the U.S. for years. They don't have that power over TikTok. TikTok won't censor what they want. They have told TikTok, Israel, the U.S. and many other countries have said, well, you need to get rid of the pro-Palestinian content and push the pro-Israeli content.
It's like 10 times more Palestinian.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like a 10-to-1 ratio now.
The TikTok thing I'm kind of uncertain about, right, because yes, you and Liz are right that it can be a good tool.
I'm going to show you guys a couple of videos here in just a minute.
But also, we got to remember, China is trying to take over the world and take over minds, and they're also creating this huge database of people. So they're stealing people's information. So we got to think about that as well.
Absolutely. Here's the thing: if I believed truly that TikTok was a threat to national security, the way that they claim, right? I'd be with you. Yeah, absolutely. Ban it. Ban it. However, I'm not convinced that that's true for a variety of reasons, not the least of which is they have yet to show to me that the data that they're talking about is used any differently than the social media companies here.
And that's a fair point. That's a fair point.
Right.
And then 2 more comments on Israel. That if I can say something. Real quick.
Yeah, by all means.
Israel needs a friend. I think our relationship with Israel is special too.
Okay.
You don't think they need a friend in America?
Well, hold on.
Okay. And my second thing I wanted to say before you comment
go ahead.
is Israel gives us intelligence about what some terrorist groups. So we get intel from them too.
Okay.
So it's not just a one-sided relationship.
Right. No, I never claim. Here's the thing, right? The same can be said for all of our allies. Okay. We have very good relations with the UK, with Australia, France. I mean, NATO, dude. Like, okay. However, our infrastructure, the people who run this country are not filled with Australians. It's not filled with British people, dual citizenship people. Israel, on the other hand, our top echelon of this country, if you look at the Biden administration, a large percent of them are Jewish, and another large percentage have dual citizenship with Israel and the U.S. In my personal opinion, anyone with dual citizenship, we have to question their loyalty. Is it to the United States or is it to the other country? Whatever country it is. I don't care if it's UK. I don't care if it's Papua New Guinea, where Papa Biden died and got eaten by cannibals.
That was crazy.
Right.
But yes, you're right. We've had this discussion before, and I agree with you that if you're going to serve in government, you should not be a dual citizen. That's a fair.
Right. So here's my next point. That being the case, we have a good percentage of our Congress and our Senate who are also dual citizens. Okay. So they're voting on sending money to a place that they have dual citizenship with. That's a conflict of interest.
I can't remember her name, but she's a congressman from Indiana who's originally from Ukraine. Sparks. Is she still a dual citizen, or I wonder if she's a citizen in the U.S.?
I'm not sure. It's a good question.
But that's just made me thought of that.
Themselves, in my opinion, right?
And that's a fair point.
Themselves. So I want to show you guys something since we're on the topic of the money and Israel, right? And I can go a lot deeper, but I'm not going to yet. We're gonna break you guys into this a little at a time, right? Because I think that's the best way to do it. The relationship that the U.S. has with Israel, all right? First of all, the Mossad is everywhere, including within our own ranks. I don't agree with that. I think that the relationship with their intel division is a lot more involved than we, the public, are led to believe.
And if people don't know what Mossad is, it's basically the Israel's version of the CIA.
Exactly. Yep. It's the Israeli Secret Service.
Yeah.
They're responsible for all the intel and everything.
And I can't believe. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
I can't believe they missed October 7th, that massacre, which really.
It's very odd, isn't it? It is. I'm not saying anything else.
No, I don't want to say.
Right. I'm not making any claims because I don't have any evidence that anything is any different than what they say. Yeah. If I get evidence that they lied or whatever, I am more than happy to present it. IDGAF as it goes. However, as far as evidence, I'm very evidence-based. It's one thing that irritates my wife sometimes because I don't just believe stuff. I want to see it. What's the proof, right? If I have evidence, I will be more than happy to show you. That said, it's very suspicious that a group like Mossad, who is well known for being top of the intel game, knew nothing about this. It was a big surprise. And allegedly, the Iron Dome was shut down during that period of time when all those initial Hamas rockets
And I think they were warned by the CIA, if I remember right.
We talked about that. There was a warning that they needed to avoid the same thing that they did with Russia, right? Avoid large areas. That tells us nothing. You got to give us more than that. Now, what the nature of the warning was and how involved it was, we don't know. But if that's all it was, if it was there's an attack incoming, well, what am I supposed to do with that? There's always an attack incoming.
You don't know when and where.
Yeah, if you can't tell me when, where, or the group involved, or something to look out for, like, it's kind of,
All right, now move to Ukraine. Yes, I agree with you.
All right, yeah, let's talk about Ukraine, because I can't wait to show you guys something. I don't know about you, but I'm tired of my money going to Ukraine.
Agreed.
And that's why I say I'm tired of my money going overseas. When you look flying something in here. It came in with you. No, I'm just kidding. I had the window open earlier.
Okay.
Got in. I'm tired of my money going overseas when our infrastructure in this country is abysmal. All the bridges that are crumbling. And if you remember, the Inflation Reduction Act was supposed to address our infrastructure. That was the point of those billions of dollars that they signed in.
Also, under Obama, they did a huge stimulus package, and they said that those jobs were going to be shovel ready. And then years later, Obama joked, "I guess those jobs weren't shovel ready."
Yeah.
So everybody says that they're going to do infrastructure, but it never gets done.
Exactly.
Trump tried, but Democrats blocked it
again. Yes, and this is one thing that I want to say. I don't always agree with Donald Trump. There are certain instances, the bump stock ban and other things, that I vehemently disagree with. However, how the hell was he expected to get anything done when not only Democrats were against him, but a large portion of his own party?
Yeah.
It's a uniparty swamp. People that think, well, you had a Republican majority, why didn't you get... No, he actually didn't. He didn't have a Republican majority. He had a uniparty majority.
Yeah, the only thing he really got through that I can think of is the big tax cuts.
Yeah, which the Democrats tout as, tax cuts for the rich.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I loved it.
I did too, because my taxes went down. No.
You're not rich.
And my taxes, annoyed me when...
Porsche, though. No, he doesn't. I'm
I
totally
do not.
kidding. He's like, I wish. I'm totally kidding.
But Biden always says not a dime more taxes for those making under $250,000. Well, I don't make $250,000, and my taxes have gone up.
Exactly. He's a liar. It's just that simple. I want to show you guys a couple of things that I think are amusing. The first one's amusing. Did I send it to you? I thought I did.
Was it the dancing?
Where did it go? Oh, there it is. No, I want to show you guys this because it's funny.
Oh, you showed me that.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. That's my buddy Pete. He lives in Papua New Guinea. I'm kidding.
You're referring to this.
Yeah, it's just a meme. I happened to run across it on Facebook, so I thought I'd share it.
And half the time, I don't think Biden knows what he's talking about half the time.
No, it's like this vacant freaking, like,
talking about
rush him out when he talks to reporters. Like, yeah.
He was talking about this week something about how his dad or uncle got eaten by cannibals.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So what are you talking about?
Yeah, what do you call him? Bodie or something?
I think that's what he called him.
I don't know, something like that. And he's like, yeah, he went down over Papua New Guinea, and they never found his body, but there were a lot of cannibals. So, basically implying that he was eaten by cannibals. And some guy from Papua New Guinea was like, yeah, dude, they're not going to eat just some random white dude that fell out of the sky.
What are you talking
about? What is wrong with you, man? Oh my God. So I'm going to show you guys a couple of videos because I think it's really important that we understand.
Oh.
No, it always does this too. It's like some verified garbage. Make sure you're not a robot. All right. So let me show you guys what's happening in Ukraine. On the left of the screen is Philadelphia in April 2024. And on the right, this is as much as I can zoom, by the way, let's see if we can pronounce this. Uzhhorod.
Ukraine?
Yeah, in Ukraine. April 2024. So same time period, right? I don't know if you guys can see, but Ukraine seems to be doing pretty damned good as far as I'm
With
concerned.
our tax money.
With our tax dollars. And this money is going to their infrastructure. It's going to pay their civil servants. It's going to all kinds of places. Philadelphia is a shithole. Look at this. And the screen at the top says, if you can't read it, it says, if this doesn't piss you off, you are blind. And I wholeheartedly agree, because this is unacceptable. And that's just one. Let me show you another, because I think this one really shows, like, chef's kiss, because this really shows you how Ukraine is doing right now. This is Kyiv. That's how you pronounce it, right?
Yep, Kyiv.
It's the capital of Ukraine, in this war-torn country that we are told Russia is rolling over. Any minute now, they're going to be overrun, unless they get $60 billion of our money.
Yep. That's what they claim.
That's what they claim. I'm not saying that they are. Here you go. It's just I'm not playing the music because it's probably copyrighted, but this is a Ukrainian social media influencer. She's going out at night to Kyiv, right? 10 o'clock at night in the capital of this war-torn country. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, war-torn. Absolutely. And am I saying there's no fighting? No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying, is this is where our tax dollars are going. Another $60 billion. What are we up to now?
That's a good question.
I think we're
I
well
lost
over
track.
100 billion. Well over. Well
Probably
over.
close
Probably
to-
closer to 3.
That's what I was thinking.
That's what I'm thinking, around 300 billion by now.
Easily. And
yeah, it's nuts, man. It's ridiculous. I'm so freaking tired of financing foreign wars with our money while we got veterans unaliving themselves, 22 a day, homeless, struggling to get health care, struggling to get this is BS, and I'm tired of it. And all these people that voted for this need to go. Every single one of them.
And we need to have transparency on where that money is actually going.
You know what?
There's no transparency.
None of these people are voting, with very few exceptions. I think Thomas Massey voted for transparency.
Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Marjorie did. And you know what? Sometimes she has some spicy takes, right? And sometimes it's like, I don't know. Let me look into that, right? Let me find out more about that particular thing before I go. But in this, she's absolutely right.
Yeah.
Absolutely right. We need accountability and transparency. Where the frick is our money going?
That's what I like to know.
That's exactly what I'd like to know. And until and unless we can account for every penny of that money, no more money goes. I just want to know where is it going? What is it being used for? Who's profiting off of it? Because there are people on both sides. Uniparty, again, there's a reason I say uniparty. There are people, Democrats and Republicans, that are getting money every time we authorize another package for Ukraine.
Allegedly.
No, I've seen it.
Have you seen it?
Yes.
I've never seen it. I've never seen
I
proof.
don't have it with me, but another show.
Okay.
We will do it. As a matter of fact, we'll be here tomorrow, 4 o'clock.
Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah. I'll get it, and I'll show you that they tracked the money. Every time X money goes this way, X money comes this way. So yeah, we'll have it I bring receipts. I like receipts. Like I said, I'm a big fan of show me.
Yep.
Right? Don't just tell me, show me. That's why I like to show people this stuff, because I think it's really important. Let's see, what do we got?
You want to do the Trump trial?
Yeah, let's talk about this trial, right?
So-called trial.
So-called trial, allegedly, right? For entertainment purposes only, right? And this is from The Guardian. So take it for what it is. So they're talking about it's ended on Thursday, a jury of 12 people impaneled, right? 7 men, 5 women who live in different parts of Manhattan, including Upper East Side, Harlem, Hell's Kitchen, and the West Village. They come from a range of personal backgrounds and employment history. Several said they have no strong opinions on Trump, and a few said they do not closely follow the news. Exact racial makeup is unclear. So the judge barred reporters from revealing the current and former employers of jurors and urged them not to use physical descriptors that could compromise their identity. I do agree with that, because anything to do with Trump is so heavily charged that if you're just a juror in his trial, you're going to get unhinged people from the left and the right.
Yep.
You're going to get people that are like, you better find him guilty or I will track you down. I guarantee you that's out there. The reverse of that, if you find Trump guilty, I'll track you down.
And it's why I said this is allegedly, if I can explain why I think this is just a alleged trial, is they have the thing completely stacked against Trump, because Michael Cohen and Stormy Daniels can talk all they want on CNN or podcasts, but Trump is banned from speaking. They're talking about possibly fining him. They're going to have a hearing Monday about possibly fining him because he will not listen to the ban on him talking.
And I'll say this. There's, like I said, there's some things that Trump's done and said that I'm like, I appreciate the fact that he won't.
No, he won't.
He will not shut up. And you know what? Good. Especially now. Like I said before, I used to be like, well, maybe you shouldn't, be quite that harsh on Twitter. No.
I'm still in that camp.
I am full on, like, kick in the afterburner, turn on the blower, hit the NOS, full speed ahead kind of thing. By all means, lay it all out. Say everything.
They're also, on what he allegedly did, they made it a felony when it should have been just a misdemeanor.
On this whole Stormy Daniels crap.
Yes.
Right. And here's the interesting thing, right? There is absolutely no evidence. As a matter of fact, Michael Cohen has gone back and changed what he said, because initially he said Trump didn't even know about this.
I remember him saying that.
Yeah, I did this to keep it away from him.
He did say that.
Yeah. There's a good chance Trump doesn't even know about this. My personal opinion, he never touched Stormy Daniels. I don't think he ever came within X feet of her. What? Dear God, dude, have you seen his wife?
Yeah.
Like, Melania is gorgeous.
She is gorgeous.
This is a man who has no problem getting beautiful women. When you're a billionaire, and let's face it, in his younger days, Trump was a good-looking dude. I mean, he was fit. He was a billionaire.
Yeah.
He's well-known. Trump Towers. He had The Apprentice. Nah, I've seen Stormy Daniels. Nah, bruh. That's just my opinion. I can't, back that up. However, when you have somebody like Cohen, who has shown he's a traitorous snake.
Yep.
He's shown that. When you have someone like him talking about initially, no, I did this because I thought it'd be the best thing. The easiest way is just make it go away. Just like we talked about before with large corporations. They just pay you to go away. Just go away, right? Sign an NDA and go away.
Go
ahead.
They also did.
Where my DOC?
Like the statute of limitation was supposed to be out on this.
Yeah.
But what they did was, because of COVID, they extended the statute of limitation. So that's going to be a good thing to start for Trump when they do have to do an appeal.
Yeah.
Because I'm convinced that they're going to find him guilty, unfortunately.
Oh, and that's the other thing. We know. And my personal opinion. Okay, so I'm going to dig at this. I'm going to dig into conspiracy theory just a tiny bit, right? There's this whole movement that believes that everything that's happening is somehow part of a grand plan. Okay, trust the plan.
Yeah,
okay?
I've heard that.
Right. I don't necessarily subscribe to that theory so much, except I do believe that God is all powerful. He is outside the universe. He created the universe, so therefore he can do whatever the heck he wants in the universe, right? I do believe that there are things that we are being shown.
Yeah.
whether God's doing it, whether a group of, quote, white hats are doing it, or whether Trump is doing it, right? Ultimately, I believe that God is showing us the corruption, the failure, the issues with our criminal justice system. Because if you have a judge that has a highly partisan lean, how can you get a fair trial?
I don't think he's going to get a fair trial.
No, of course not. So what happens, right? What's going to happen? We all know the trial is a foregone conclusion, just like the other one, that show trial with a judge that wouldn't even let him talk, a judge that you couldn't even have a jury trial. The left wing is running with misinformation on this. They're saying, oh, he chose not to have a jury trial.
No, he wanted to have that choice and they didn't give it to him.
Right. And that's absolutely right. Look it up. That's the law. In New York, with that type of trial, the judge picks. Or either the judge picks or it's trial by judge regardless. You don't have the choice. There's no option. So do we want to go through all these jurors since they don't?
You can.
Let's take a look at who we got. So number one is a guy who works in sales, previously worked as a waiter, has some college, married with no children, and he gets news from a range of outlets, such as New York Times. That being number one concerns me.
Yeah.
The Daily Mail. I'll say Daily Mail is not terrible.
No.
You really got to some of their more outlandish stuff, you kind of got to look into a little bit. But for the most part, they have a pretty good track record of reporting stuff kind of centered.
I like the Daily Mail.
Yeah. Fox News and MSNBC. Okay, allegedly. Juror number two is a married man who works in investment banking. He has an MBA in finance. He described himself as someone who reads basically everything and said that while he doesn't hold any strong beliefs or opinions, he does follow the news and sees Trump's Truth Social posts via Twitter. He told the court that he had not read any of Trump's books, but had seen quotes from The Art of the Deal. Oh, okay. All right. Juror three. Man who appeared to be in his late 20s, early 30s, originally from the West Coast, works in corporate law. He gets his news from the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, and Google.
Oh.
Dear God in heaven.
Yeah.
Number four. Originally from the West Coast, security engineer with some college education, is married with children. He said he was not on social media and once served on a criminal jury in the past, though could not remember the verdict. When asked if he had any concerns about returning a guilty verdict, he said no. Juror number five is a young woman who said that she had friends with strong opinions on Trump, but that she was not a political person and avoided the news. She said she did appreciate Trump's candor and that he, quote, speaks his mind, and I'd rather that than someone who's in office who you don't know what they're thinking. Okay. Six is a woman who works in tech. She told the court she had no strong feelings about Trump and pledged to be fair and impartial. She is unmarried with no children, gets her news from the New York Times, Google, Facebook, and TikTok.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Oh, and I want to mention this. Both of those videos that I showed you about Ukraine are from TikTok. You can't find them anywhere. I haven't been able to find them anywhere else, and I haven't been able to find this kind of information in any other place. Again, why the hell do you think they want to ban it? Juror number seven is a man in his late middle age who works as a civil litigator. He's a lawyer. He's married with children and has never served on a jury. He gets his news from a variety of outlets: New York Times, Wall Street Journal, New York Post, and the Washington Post, and from podcasts. Okay. All right. Okay. Got a heck of a left leaning in the news and source, but let's see. Number eight is a retired wealth manager who is married with children. Asked if he had any strong opinions about Trump, he paused for a moment before answering yes. When the judge followed up to ask him if he could be fair and impartial, he said he could.
You don't know what these people are thinking.
Right. We have no way of knowing if they're being honest or not. That's just the way that it is. I will say this. Allegedly, there was a juror whose like basically had a social media full of bashing Trump, and they showed it, and it was like, hey, and the judge is like, oh, it's fine.
Wow.
Yeah, this is the kind of thing we're dealing with. This is the kind of trial that he's getting. Number 9 is a woman who told the court she believed she could fully follow the judge's instructions, but was not well versed in legal proceedings. She lives alone, does not follow the news closely, and is originally from New Jersey. Number 10, man who works in e-commerce and said he did not really check the news, listens to podcasts on behavioral psychology, originally from Ohio. 11, woman who said she did not follow the news, but did watch late night comedy shows. Oh boy.
Oh, that's
originally from California, and said she had never rallied for or against Trump. One of her close friends was convicted of financial fraud, she said. 12 is a woman who works as a physical therapist. She lived in a few states before coming to New York, reads major news outlets, and listens to podcasts about sports and faith. All right.
It'll be interesting.
It will, yeah, that's exactly right. It will be interesting to see how this comes out. I personally don't believe he has a chance, snowball's chance in hell of getting a fair trial.
No.
I'm
with you on that.
Yeah, and that's just how it is. That's just my opinion. But there's enough evidence to suggest that I'm correct, that I'm comfortable in saying that. I want to show you guys. Something. Let me get it up here real quick. So there is a hacker group that says that they broke in to the IDF, which is the Israeli Defense Force. That's their army. According to them, they have 250,000 documents, and allegedly, it's not just a hacker group; it is anonymous. Now, before we actually look at the story, it's not long. I'm just going to read the whole thing. Before we actually look at the story, have you read this yet?
I have not.
Okay. What's your take on this? I was hoping you hadn't read it.
I don't know what the anonymous kind of hasn't been as prevalent as it once was. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if it's really them or if they're just saying.
Exactly. There are rumors that anonymous was compromised by FBI, CIA.
I've heard that.
Yeah. It's
just rumors.
But that's what I've heard.
I've heard that too.
At the same time, we have seen a vast reduction in Anonymous's activities.
Yeah, we have
over the past few years. Like they haven't really made waves in a while.
It's been a while.
Yeah. So let's dig into this real quick. Pro-Palestinian hackers allege that after penetrating the Justice Ministry, they now possess 20 gigabytes of data, including nearly 250,000 documents related to the Israeli military. That is fascinating to me if true. But let's go in. The hacker organization Anonymous issued a statement on Friday stating that it has hacked into the IDF and will reportedly showcase purportedly military documents. It also claims control over 20 gigabytes of data, encompassing over 233,000 documents, including PDFs, Word files, PowerPoint presentations, and more. The hacker's accompanying video displays excerpts from PowerPoint presentations featuring IDF personnel, with slides bearing logos of general staff departments. The authenticity of the documents in the video remains uncertain, which I think what that means is the IDF hasn't said, yeah, it's ours, or no, that's not ours.
They probably
haven't
won't
issued a statement at all, and I think that's probably their best bet.
They probably won't
avoid it. According to IDF security assessments, the likelihood of an actual breach is minimal, not non-existent. Minimal, suggesting a possible psychological warfare tactic by the hackers. The IDF's computer system is tightly secured and classified at various levels. If a breach did occur, it's improbable that access extended directly to IDF computers. Instead, files may have been obtained from civilian computers, potentially breaching regulations. It's funny how they care a lot about the rules in times like this. When the governments violate the rules, there's a little blur. right? When hackers violate the rules while getting government agencies, look what they did to Assange.
Oh yeah.
He's still trying to
Yep.
avoid getting executed when he comes back to this country. Like, the CIA has a contract out on him. Mike Pompeo is responsible for that. Just because somebody was with Trump doesn't make him a good guy. Just keep that in mind.
He's not even from this country.
Who's that?
Julian Assange.
Right.
He's from Australia.
Yeah. Claiming to hack the Justice Ministry. Earlier this month, an anonymous source claimed to have hacked the Justice Ministry, acquiring 8 million files totaling 300 gigabytes, including personal details of listed individuals. Some of the hackers operating under the anonymous banner since 2003 reiterated their vow to, quote, destroy the Zionists. Now, I'm going to stop here real quick because I think it's really important that people understand that for many people, not everyone, but for many people, there is a difference, a distinct difference between somebody who's just Jewish or somebody who's just Israeli and a Zionist. For those of you not familiar with the term, Zionists believe in the absolute supremacy of Israel. They don't want to be our equals. They want to rule us.
Okay.
I'm against that.
Yeah.
Just saying. I want to be perfectly clear. America is a sovereign country. I want it to remain that way. I don't want us to serve any other interest besides America first. And preferably Dion first. I'm just saying. At the start of the month, I'm kidding, the National Cyber Array warned of an anticipated uptick in attacks following the end of Ramadan and escalating incitement against Israel and its online presence. Concerns include potential website breaches, digital system infiltrations, including smart homes, leaks of classified documents, exposure of personal data, deployment of tracking software, and intrusion attempts. And that's it. That's the entirety of the article. I told you it was short. Yeah. If this is true, if they have these documents, I think there's going to be a lot that just don't matter. But I'm curious about the percentage of these that do matter. What are they going to say? What is contained in these documents? Is it something interesting? Is it something that sheds light on the conflict?
On October 7th? What if they have anything on Benjamin Netanyahu, the prime minister? That's a good question.
Yeah.
We'll have to keep an eye on this. The next topic, do you want to do the one about Indiana, the highway?
Yeah, let's talk about that. Okay, so this is actually kind of cool. I can bring up the article if you want. I'll flash it on the screen so you guys can find it. But here's the basic gist of it. The Indiana Department of Transportation, or INDOT, is currently running a test where they're going to install these coils under the road so that electric cars can charge while going over them. I actually have a friend who was in the little briefing when they announced this, and he had some questions. The most important question being, is this safe for like pacemakers and stuff? That's
a good question.
Because it's essentially emitting an electromagnetic frequency, right, in order to charge the batteries. Now, allegedly, it won't affect anybody's cell phone or anything like that. It only activates if an electric car goes over it and they have a certain transponder, right? So anybody who's not in an electric car, allegedly, they'll be fine. Okay, it's not going to activate for you. It's only going to activate if this little transponder goes ding and it turns on. But his question, if that person in that car has a pacemaker or some other sort of electronic device embedded in them, what's going to happen? Is it safe? We think so.
We think so?
We think so. That's why we have to run tests. Okay, so, right? Right?
Wow.
Oh, okay. That makes me feel a lot less confident in this stuff.
Yeah.
But it is, they're doing it in a certain section of road, and it's going to be, I'm not sure for how long, but their idea is it's going to allow for longer range, right? If we got all these coils under the road. Now, the other thing that he said that's interesting is in order to do this, they have these big power boxes, like every 75 feet. So, really? Yeah, so we're talking a massive expenditure if that's the case.
I guess we know where the money that we have in the bank for the state's going.
Yeah, the $2 billion surplus or whatever. I think it's up to like 4. So let me bring it up for you because I do want to at least show you.
But that's really interesting.
Yeah, it was. I found it very
totally missed. Didn't even hear about this till you sent it.
Oh, I'm on the wrong one. Hold on. I don't think I sent this one. Okay, I got it. I got to get it. While I'm getting it, one of my concerns with this is not only the cost, right? But like potential issues for people and why? Okay, so in doing this, my anticipation, and I'm not sure this is how it's going to work, but my anticipation is they're going to use regular road funds to do this, right? DOT, Department of Transportation, they're going to use their money and they're going to build these mobile chargers, right? The road will charge you. Who pays for that? We are, the taxpayer. Why the hell are we paying to charge people's cars?
True.
Like,
yeah,
they don't pay for our gas. We don't have free gas stations along the way. Now, I don't have an electric car. I might feel differently if I had an electric car, but most people don't. Most people don't have electric cars. So most people have to put gas in their cars. We're already paying. Here in LaPorte County, we got this stupid ass wheel tax.
Mm-hmm.
It's $20 every time you go to renew your 20 or 25, one of the two. Either way, every time you renew your plates, you got all the crazy ass taxes, all the regular plate charge, plus an additional $20, $25 here in LaPorte County.
Now, can IDOT do this without the legislature's approval? Do you know what I'm saying?
So.
Okay.
I believe so. I'm not 100% sure, but let's dive into this. It's from Mother Jones.
Oh.
But it's non-political. So
okay, yeah, but
you know, so here we go. If things work out, quote, the possibilities are endless. It was originally published by Inside Climate News, so you can like at least it didn't originate
from Mother Jones.
Mother Jones, but the Department of Transportation, where Dolier works, he's the public relations director for NDOT. He's, all giddy about it. They will install a series of copper coils under the highway surface to test a new technology Purdue University researchers developed that can provide power to electric vehicles wirelessly as they drive past. Now, a couple of interesting notes here. Again, the buddy that I talked to, he's attended this stuff. He actually worked for NDOT at one point, right? All of this crap that Purdue University comes up with, all of it, almost, like I can't say all because that's very, narrow. The vast majority of it is garbage. This is straight from him. He's worked on this stuff. He's tried it out. He's like all of their weird projects that they want NDOT to test, they're all trash. There's no reason to expect this is going to be any different, but maybe it will be. Moving on.
You never know.
You never know. Wouldn't it really be something if we could just drive over the road and catch your charge for your vehicle as you drive across it? Dolier said during a phone interview, watching the progress from the parking lot of one of the department satellite offices in West Lafayette. So I think that's where they're going to do it, is down there in West Lafayette. The state began construction of its new pilot project this month, and officials say they believe it could spur greater adoption of EVs and redefine the way people think about them. Blah, 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 blah. Allegedly, it can provide power at up to 65 miles per hour. So as long as you're under 65 or under, you'll get your vehicle charged. According to all the research that they did, range anxiety is the big concern. People don't buy electric vehicles because they're concerned that they won't be able to make it to their destination. I think it's a valid concern.
Uh-huh.
If EVs had bigger range, they believe that more people would buy them. And I think that's a fair assessment to make, you know. I still don't want one, but here's the big thing for me, though. For me personally, the reason I don't about an electric vehicle is NIPSCO charges an exorbitant amount of money to wire your home for it. Last I checked, it was like 70 grand.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while since I looked into it, but it was like $70,000 for NIPSCO to basically rewire your house so that you can charge your Tesla or whatever car, right? Otherwise, it's super slow. Like it takes like days to get any charge back on our little regular system because it's a supercharger that they have to install and all of that. And like if you want to get the Tesla solar panels, I think that's like 20 grand. I don't have tens of thousands of dollars to toss around to get electric vehicles. I just, you know, I'm a poor podcaster, man. That's all. So while Indiana's project wouldn't be the first dynamic EV charger in the nation, Detroit had one. It would be the first time the technology was installed on a highway. If successful, the technology could also help to electrify long-haul trucks, which are among the most difficult vehicles to, I love this, decarbonize, said Nadia Gukritsa. I don't know how you say it, a civil engineering professor at Purdue University and the project's lead researcher. That's because, I'm going to tell you why. You can read the article if you want, but I'm going to tell you why. It's because trucks are freaking heavy. They're massive. They want to reduce weight as much as possible so that you can haul as much freight as possible. You pack it with a bunch of batteries, you're taking away freight weight. You're not going to buy something that your vehicle is half the weight of what you want to haul. You're going to have the weight that you can haul or more, and then you don't make any money. You can only take these kind of loads, these light loads.
I see.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. And the recharge, with the way that it is currently with diesel engines, right? You got a truck, you got massive diesel tanks, one on each side, because trucks get crappy gas mileage, fuel mileage, I should say. It's not gas, it's diesel. They get crappy fuel mileage. I used to get a bonus when I got better than 10 miles per gallon. That's how it is. You're hauling freight, right? So in order to refill that truck, you stop at any truck stop, put fuel in the tank, pay with your company card or your Visa if you're an owner-operator, and you get back on the road. It takes like 10 minutes to fuel your truck up, right? If that, sometimes. If you're in a hurry, you pull in, glug, 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 everything's automated. And even back then, you just put your stuff in and, you know. Now you have to sit there at a charger for hours because you got to have a lot of battery to haul all this stuff. You're talking thousands of pounds. 80,000 pounds is the regular top without special permits. In Indiana, 80,000 pounds is as heavy as you can get. That's truck, trailer, and freight, everything together. You're looking at a lot of batteries to be able to haul 80,000 pounds. That's
not realistic.
No. So their big thing is they want to put it in there so that trucks can recharge, right? If all of our highways recharge the trucks that roll across it, and the only charge you needed was when you left the highway to go pick up and deliver, that would make battery-driven trucks, you could have a lot less battery, and then the weight wouldn't be as much of an issue. So I see the goal. I don't know if I agree with it, but I see the goal, and I can understand why they would want it.
But is it realistic? That's the thing. I don't know if it can be done.
I don't know either. Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know if that is a realistic goal because you would have to have the entirety pretty much of the United States interstate system have this battery charger system in it. And I'm going to tell you, all other things aside, and you guys can look it up if you want. I'm going to give you the name of the article one more time. The rest of it's just, we hope it works. Mother Jones, Indiana will test a highway that can charge moving vehicles. That's the name of the article. Go read the rest of it if you want. The big thing with this is who's paying for it? How long is it going to last? Because as it sits right now, our highways constantly have to be repaired because of the agreements with the asphalt unions to use asphalt versus longer lasting materials. I looked into that actually when I ran for Congress, and because my big thing was, why do our roads suck? It's because there's an agreement with the asphalt union, because those people want to stay in business. They want to have recurring work. So there are certain restrictions about what we can use for our roads. So with that being in mind, they're going to cover it with asphalt. So that's going to have to be constantly repaired. Are these chargers going to have to be constantly repaired as well?
Yeah.
How long do they last? How much power do they put out? These are all things that we need to know. Right now, it's a test. But there are some real questions that I believe need to be asked before we go, oh, yeah, let's do that. Just saying. What do you want to go to next?
I'm trying to remember what else you had.
Well, let's see. The Ukraine money, we covered that. I'm just wholeheartedly against that.
Talk about Israel.
You know what? Did you guys see? I thought I sent it. No, I think I sent it to you. Oh, I guess I didn't. I could have sworn Yeah. No, that's not it.
That was Mrvan again.
Yeah, that was not what I was looking for.
I'm trying to remember what the other topic was.
I know what it was. Hold on. It's not another topic, but it is a video that I wanted to. Let's see here. I gotta find it. Let's see here. There was a video. I can't find it. But basically, it was. I showed it to you.
Okay, the Johnson
Speaker Johnson. Yeah, basically he did a little blurb where he was like, I set out, basically this is what I wanted to do, and I set out to do it and accomplished it. So he wanted funding for Ukraine. He wanted funding for Israel. He wanted all these things that he said he was against.
He originally was against giving Ukraine more money until he became speaker.
Even after he became speaker, he claimed he was against it, which is why he held these various bills up, right? Now, all of a sudden, and I'm going to say this, I don't know if you guys watched his face and the way that he changed after he went into these various meetings, right? He became speaker. He was all, yeah, we're not going to send Ukraine any more money, and we're not going to do this, and we're not going to do that. And then he went into these various meetings and committees, and then he came back out and he looked very different than when he went in. Did you see that?
Yeah, you showed me the video before.
Yeah. He comes out and I don't know if they have something on him. That's what I think.
They probably.
That's
do.
what I think. I think they went, yeah, you're going to do what we want, and if you don't, we're going to show people this or whatever. They're all owned. They're all owned. And coming back to my point, right, from earlier, who are they owned by?
And that's a good question.
I know the answer, but I gotta introduce it slow. I gotta show you slow. Who do you think? Do you know? Or is it, do you think that it's a particular group, or do you think that it's various positions of power?
A group.
Your thoughts?
Actually, a little bit of both. Individuals with different power. Yeah.
Okay. What's your definition of the deep state.
Hmm.
Like, because Trump talks about the deep state a lot, right? He's like, the deep state did this, the deep state want to stop that, right? What's your definition of the deep state?
The deep state is basically the people that you don't see that are unelected bureaucrats in different departments.
Okay. That's an excellent definition as far as I'm concerned, because the real deep state are the people who make the decisions behind the scenes.
Yeah. And
right?
Congress, a lot of times when they go through bills, will delegate the power to these people. Like when
These
Obamacare, yes, when Obamacare passed, they said, we'll let Health and Human Services Department deal with this, or with the agriculture.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's what my definition of the deep state would be.
And the Supreme Court, I forget the name of the decision, but we talked about it before, recently found that all of these agencies are unconstitutional.
I think it was
insofar as they can't, like Congress can't give these agencies their power.
I want to say it was West Virginia versus EPA.
I think, yeah, I'm almost positive.
I think that's what it was.
I'm pretty sure that was it. Yeah. So if you look up West Virginia v. EPA, SCOTUS ruled on it, and they said that these various agencies, like the EPA, like the the FBI is kind of a gray area, but specifically the EPA, like Department of Health and Human Services,
Education Department.
Department of Education. That's what I was trying to think of.
The Pentagon,
the ATF. All of these agencies, they don't have the power to do what they're trying to do. Yeah. Congress is not allowed to give their power away.
And they're most of the time happy to give that power away.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And the founders never thought that a branch of government would be so willing to give their party or give their power away.
Right.
But they are.
They are. Oh, absolutely. Because then they can't be held accountable.
Exactly.
That's exactly it. They can appoint like this person in this agency, and their will be done. But when you go, hey, why did this happen? They can go, you'll have to talk to this agency. You have to talk to that agency. Look at, ATF. ATF is constantly trying to infringe on the Second Amendment. You go to Congress, what the heck? Oh, you have to talk to the ATF. That's the ATF's rules. No.
And they don't even declare war anymore either.
Right? All of these military actions just happen. Yeah. And that's one reason why I'll let you guys know these various people that have run for especially higher political office, Congress, Senate, stuff like that I've interviewed on my show. I always ask them, what would it take for you to authorize an AUMF, authorization for the use of military force? What that is it lets the president do whatever he wants with the military. That question actually came from Shawn, and it's such a good question because it asked them directly, what are the circumstances where you would say, yeah, we're just going to hand our power to the president? Because Congress is responsible for declaring war.
Yep.
Nobody else can do that. Congress only. But yet they have given their power via AUMF to the president for years, years and years. That's how, Iraq happened. That's how a lot of places happen. Afghanistan. Did we ever declare actual war on Afghanistan?
No. I think we just passed an AUMF.
Yeah. I know the Soleimani and all that stuff.
I think World War II was the last time Congress declared war.
Yeah. I don't even think the Korean.
Or Vietnam.
Vietnam, we definitely didn't declare war. I'm not sure about Korea.
I don't.
We call it the Korean War, but I think in official stuff it's called the Korean conflict for a reason. I'm not sure. That'd be something. You know what? Let's look. Let's find out. Let's see. Did the U.S. Congress never declared war on North Korea? I'll show you guys here. And this is the kind of stuff that I do use like Google stuff for. Korean War, which ended with an armistice on July 27, 1953, sometimes referred to as the Forgotten War or police action because it was overshadowed by World War II several years earlier. But most importantly, in my opinion, Congress never actually declared war on North Korea. What about Afghanistan?
No.
Same thing?
I'm pretty sure we did not. Find out for sure, but I'm like 99% sure we didn't.
You know what? No, this is interesting. Let's see here. It doesn't actually pop up. That's a Senate.gov. Let's see. Okay, so here, the Congress has declared war on 11 occasions, including its first one in 1812. It looks like the last one, 1942.
Yep.
And this is Senate.gov. So.
Yeah, because they were both AUMFs, Iraq and Afghanistan.
Yeah. Yeah. So they can call it the Afghan war or whatever all they want, but we never declared war, did we?
No.
That's disgusting. In my opinion, it is absolutely disgusting because there are various benefits that our service members get if they were involved in a war that they don't get if they weren't.
Oh, I never even thought of that.
Yeah, they're because it's the way that it works. I am not a veteran, but I have friends who are veterans, and the way that it's all about the wording, right? Yeah, you get stuff for being a part of an armed conflict, but specifically war, when the U.S. declares war on something, it changes things.
I'll have to research that. Yeah, I'm not a veteran either, so yeah, I did not know.
I don't know all the ins and outs. If you're a veteran and you know what I'm talking about, email talk@dionbergeron.com. I'd love to hear, apparently my comments are not working on X/Twitter. I had a guy who said that he commented during a video and it's not showing up. It used to work when it was Twitter 1.0 with Periscope. I could see comments from there. So if you guys are commenting, apparently I can't see them, which is unfortunate. You guys should watch on YouTube, I know, or Facebook, because I can actually interact with you.
And Rumble, you still can't.
Yeah, Rumble, I still can't interact with comments either, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, that is.
Because I'd like to. Now, it's because of the program that I use. If I only went exclusively through Rumble, like just went live on Rumble, then I could do like comments. But in order to stream to multiple platforms, I'm using the software that I use, which is StreamYard, and it's just not compatible, which it sucks. My goal is to have you guys interact with us, talk like we had with the Tucker Putin watch party. Yeah. We had a guy from Russia. That was cool. That was awesome. That's my goal. That's kind of what I'd like the show to evolve into. But anyway, so here's going back for a moment. When we talk about the deep state, right? We're talking about a group that's kind of, that shadowy behind the scenes kind of stuff. It's that, but it's not that. It's not nearly that cool. It's a group of people, some completely unconnected, that have certain views and believe that their views are more important than the Constitution. There was, I can't remember I don't think I played it for you guys, but he saw it. For example, when Nixon was president, the CIA stopped giving him intel.
Which they did to Trump too.
Yep. Which that's deep state behavior right there. When you are not filling in the commander in chief, look, you can dislike Trump all you want. The man was president of the United States.
Yep.
He
won.
He won the election. He is afforded all trappings of the office, including commander in chief of the armed forces. And I still think what was it? It wasn't Milley. It was Milley was after Trump. It was what? What was his name? Meadows? Mattis.
Was it Mattis?
I don't think it was. No, I think he had replaced Mattis. The one who called China.
Oh,
what was his name? I said it before and I can't remember because that's how memorable he is. It wasn't Milley though, was it?
I don't think it was Milley.
I don't think Milley was in yet. But either way, the guy that was, at the end of the Trump administration, the last one,
Esper. I think it was Mark Esper.
Yeah, somebody. They called China, and he's like, now I got to know. You're looking it up, aren't you? Yeah,
I think it was Mark Esper.
But they called their counterpart in China to tell them basically, if the commander-in-chief orders me to do something, I'm not going to do it. How has he not been brought up on treason charges? It blows my mind. I'll let you find that real quick.
Yep, found it. It was Mark Milley.
It was Milley. Okay, so Milley was in before Trump. Okay, yeah, this guy said he would absolutely side with our enemies over Donald Trump.
Yeah,
that should concern everyone. I don't care who the president is. When you have someone who's admitting that they would side with a foreign country over the president of the United States. And I want everybody to remember this because I think it's really, really important to hold on to that little nugget of knowledge because there are rumors that they're going to do the same thing again if Trump wins.
There's rumors that the Democrats are going to block his certification with the Electoral College in Congress.
The same thing that they were against Pence doing. The funny thing is they made the law to where they can't use the VP to do it.
Yeah.
So what they're going to try to do is they're going to try to get they're trying to grab the Congress. They're with getting rid of the Republicans, right? We had a small lead. Now it's super tight. Oh, that reminds me. That's story that
they only have like a 2-seat majority now.
Yeah, it's super tight. And these Republicans, not all of them are Republicans, dude. It's like I said, uniparty. Look at Dan Crenshaw. That guy's a major disappointment. He's McCain 2.0.
The congressman from Texas. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. He's Dan Crenshaw is whoa. There's one more story that I want to cover because
which really surprised me.
Yeah, watching his voting record
really
is abysmal. Oh, speaking of voting record, I got the list of Indiana. There it is. Okay, so this is from House.gov, and from Indiana, we've got Baird. He voted nay, so good job. Banks actually voted no.
That one surprised me.
Yeah, so it surprised me too, and I'm going to tell you my personal belief, the reason why he did. I think he's watching his votes very, very carefully going into this election.
Yeah,
because he's running for senator.
Yep.
So he is now. If you go back further, by all means, go back further and learn the way he used to vote, because I think he's watching his votes very carefully and trying to appear as a real conservative.
And it'll be interesting. Most likely, he's going to be the next senator from Indiana. It'll be interesting to see next year his votes in the Senate when it comes to Ukraine.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So then Bouchon voted yay. Carson, Democrat, voted yay. Houchin voted yay. Mrvan, of course, voted yay. Pence also voted yay. That's Greg, not Mike.
That doesn't surprise me.
Spartz voted nay.
That didn't surprise me.
Yeah. And that was for the big bill, though. That was for all of them, Ukraine and...
they split it up into 4 votes.
What do you mean? No, this was the House. They did it individually, and then they put it all together to send it to the Senate. This is the most recent one that just did today. Yeah, this is the one with Ukraine, Taiwan, Israel, and the TikTok ban, all wrapped up in a package. So Sparks voted nay. Yeah, and then Rudy Yakum voted yay. Now I will say this about Rudy Yakum. I've met him. He seems like a super nice guy. I have not liked his votes lately. I have not liked his votes lately at all. However, when you go to his social media is filled with people from his district saying, thank you for voting yay. I wanted you to vote yay. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Very, very few going, what the heck, dude? So it seems to be representing the people of his district.
And that's what he's
paid to do. That's what he's supposed to do. Is what it is. I'm just saying that's, I wanted to throw that out there because I do believe it's important. On the other hand, some of these other ones, you go to their social media and look, and it's a whole lot of traitor.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying it goes that far, but I mean, kind of does, because at this point, in my opinion, any vote to send money overseas before you fix what's going on here in this country, you're picking another country over your own. I mean, that's, again, just my 2 cents, just what I think. That said, though, the whole thing just stinks. The bill together.
Yeah, I don't like the bill
it's
together.
Garbage. It's garbage. They do this for a reason, and they latch that little TikTok one on there because they want it gone.
Yeah, they really do.
They want it gone. You have to ask yourself why. You really, really do. Why are they so against this? Look, we know. Look, guys, go on X. I'm just going to tell you, go on X and look. All you have to read, if you don't want to get into anything else, read what Elon tweets. Because
I do.
He shows Facebook, Instagram, and some other ones are filled with child exploitation content. These are where advertisers are putting their money, and that should concern you. It does concern me.
Wow.
These various social media companies, remember, they don't want you to talk crap about certain experimental medical procedures. You can't talk about that, and you can't talk about the origins of COVID, but you can exploit children. That's perfectly okay. It's disgusting.
That is disgusting.
It's absolutely disgusting, and it's sick. And there will be a reckoning. I absolutely believe that, because these people will not be allowed to get away with this forever.
Nope.
That's what I'm saying. I think God is working the way that God does and showing people, here you go, take a look. Can you get behind that? You know what I want to talk about real quick? Did you see did you hear about that men's conference that happened? It's like this big Christian conference, right?
Yep.
And there was like this guy, a sword swallower, that had got on stage.
Maybe not.
They had a big tank that came rolling in, and then there was a sword swallower that got on stage, and he took his shirt off, and there was like he was climbing on a pole, looked like a stripper pole, basically, right? One of the guests. Now I'm not a mega church guy. I don't go to a mega church. I don't particularly care for mega churches. I think I just don't. I'm just not into that. If that's what you're into, that's you. You do you, boo. But this particular thing, I forget what it was called, but it's a massive men's conference, right? It's supposed to be for fellowship and worship and to meet, networking and all this. It starts off with a tank that rolls in over some cars, and they got a guy, a sword swallower, right? And one of the speakers had gotten up on stage and said, essentially, this is not Christian. This guy's basically doing on a stripper pole, and they yanked him off stage, told him to stop. And I found that interesting for a variety of reasons that I'm not really going to, throw all out. But the short version is we have these men's conferences, and on the one hand, it's important to think of activities and stuff that's going to get you excited, right? On the other hand, isn't this supposed to be like for worshiping God? I'm not much of a, like I said, I'm not a mega church guy, but I do believe that if you're going to build something as Christian, as holy, why do you got a guy dancing on a stripper pole? Like, it's just weird.
That is
right?
weird.
It's bizarre. And some of them, like the tank, I don't hate that. I'm just going to say, because it's a bunch of men. Men love tanks. Not a bad idea. But we're getting away, I think, from the purpose of whatever this is. So, I don't know.
No, I didn't see that.
I'll have to, let me look up what it's called. What do you think? So while I'm digging into this, what do you think the biggest issue is for the voters going in to this primary? For like, Republicans are going to pull their ballot, right? Both nationally, let's face it, here in Indiana, Donald Trump's going to get the primary win. That's just how it is. But like, for example, when they're looking at people for governor, when they're looking at people for various seats down the ballot, right? What do you think is going to be the biggest issue for Indiana voters when they go into the voting booth in the primary?
Are we talking about Republican?
Yeah, Republican.
The polls have said repeatedly that the border security and actually terrorism is number one. So safety. And for Democrats, it's going to be abortion again. Abortion is still a very hot topic. People still have that feeling that they're going to not be able to have abortion access. All right.
They're worried what?
They're still worried that Democrats are worried that they're not going to have abortion access. And I think there's an underbelly that we're not seeing of voters that are going to turn out.
That's a
in
really
November.
Good point.
So I think the polls between Biden and Trump are much closer than the polls are saying.
That could be. But if you happen to be a Democrat or have Democrat friends that are very concerned about the abortion issue, right? I have my own beliefs on that. I'm pro-life, me personally. But one of the things that I would ask them is, if reelected, what makes you think Biden is going to do anything about it? The Democrats had a majority. They had Biden and they had the House and the Senate, and they didn't do anything about it.
Yeah, they did when he first came in. That's a good. He's going to be campaigning. Him and Kamala are going to be campaigning on a abortion platform in November. And those Republicans are going to try to make it that you're never going to be able to have abortion, that they're going to ban it completely, and that's not true.
Right. Let me show you, just so you guys.
All right.
The church that hired a former male stripper to perform at a men's conference.
And that is bizarre.
Yeah. Pastor Mark Driscoll was the one who had got up on stage and said, this is not right. If you guys want to read about it, it goes into it, but I would look up the church that hired a former male stripper to perform at a men's conference. Hold on, I want to get the name of the conference so you guys can look it up. It doesn't actually. Oh, here it is. Okay, so the pastor that was involved was John Lindell of James River Church in Missouri. And he kicked him off the stage. I don't see the actual name of it, but it doesn't matter. You can find out about it now. If you haven't already heard about it, I haven't even over my stuff. And that's one of the reasons why I think this is a good show, because you tend to get your information from this particular group of sources. Not that you follow only one, you have a lot. I get my information from other sources.
Yep.
And together, I think they present a really good view of what's happening.
Yeah.
And it keeps us all informed because I learned so much, dude, from the stuff that you send me. That I had no idea was even going on. Just
good to know.
Yeah, this is just my 2 cents, and there's so much happening right now. Like it's hard to keep up, you know. And there are like news channels out there that present information, but there's not much where you get an active discussion.
No, there's not
of real topics happening right now, at least that I've seen, you know, unless you're into the podcast scene. There are some podcasts that do that.
I like Megyn Kelly. I listen to her podcast.
Yeah, I've heard good things about Megyn Kelly's.
Yeah, she has a good podcast.
I'm not a big fan of her, but she did some weird stuff, man. Like at the I'd have to look it up, but I distinctly remember there were some instances where Megyn Kelly did something and I was like, yeah, I thought you were better than that.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'll have to find it. But yeah. We'll get into that another time. But so the border is the big thing that seems to be on people's minds across the country, no matter where you live. Indiana, we're nowhere near the southern border, but yet we still feel it. I've seen, like, right next door in Highland, they found a church with like 18 undocumented in the basement.
Wow.
A pastor had brought them in. Yeah, like it's happening. It's right by us.
Did you see Fox News was talking about the other day that they had a Chicago City Council meeting, and these people who say that they've been voting Democrat all their life are screaming at the mayor and saying, we're going to vote you out. We're going to vote MAGA in November.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah, they're voting Republican. That's what they say. They say,
and they had MAGA shirts on, and they had Make America Great Again hats. And my mouth dropped because you never think that would happen in Chicago.
And that's what I'm saying. I believe whoever you want to attribute it to, I don't care who you attribute it to, but I have seen instances, evidence that there is a force working, right? Whether it's military intelligence, whether it's a single letter of the alphabet, whatever, right? Whether it's God, there is a force that is causing things to happen.
Yeah.
Because there's no way these people would be voting Republican if it were not for the blatant disregard for their citizens that Chicago politicians have shown.
Yeah, people are getting really pissed.
They are livid. They're like, we are done. Done. And I'm talking about like the south side of Chicago, like traditionally very strong Democrat holds where they never had to worry about votes. Like Republicans, you just don't go there because there's no point. They will not vote for you.
One politician was brave enough to go there, though. Rand Paul would go there.
Yeah,
but
he would go there. But
anyway,
and that's the thing. He didn't get their vote.
No,
because they vote Democrat. There's no
if they lose Chicago, there goes Illinois for Biden. So
yeah. Which I want people to pay attention because I saw a Trump ad, right? And it was a fundraising ad, but it was a very short like YouTube ad. And it started with like him offering a signed hat, right? And it had his WinRed link on there, right? Okay. But the structure of the ad was excellent. I wish I had it. I don't have it right now.
Okay.
But it basically was him saying that we're going to fight, we're going to this, but then he sums it up with they're going to cheat, but we're going to keep it to a minimum. They're going to try to cheat because they always do, but we're going to keep it to a minimum. And it was a very like pointed message. It was an interesting format, right? There was some good stuff in there. And it was basically like, does your money go as far as it did? Right? When you go to the grocery store, can you buy the stuff you used to be able to buy with the same amount of money? Of course not. No, because we all know the economy sucks. very like connection, right? And then it was basically get out there and vote for me, and I'm going to make things the way they were. But then he said they're going to try to cheat, but we're going to keep it to a minimum. I found that very interesting. That was a choice that was made to make that ad, right? Because it would be very easy for these ads to be Biden sucks, let's get him out, right? And that was part of it. But his campaign team is incredible. Trump's campaign team is like the best in the business because his ads are just so good.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of them, and they are good.
They are really
I don't think I've seen the one that you're talking about.
Yeah, there's a few on YouTube, but that one in particular caught my eye. The signed hat, not so much, although that would be cool, you know. The big thing was the way he looked at the camera. There was definitely something like, about it. But I want people to pay attention to the votes because one of two things is going to happen, in my opinion. There's either going to be widespread, rampant ridiculousness, shenanigans, right? There's going to be a ton of shenanigans. Or there's something in place to prevent it. People are making a big deal out of Space Force, right? That Space Force is watching and da.
Interesting. I have not heard that.
Because one of the posts actually from Space Force, and it was like a couple months ago, basically it was saying, okay, basically everything is under our control now. I know what it was. It was like talking about a blackout, right? That if all the power went out or the internet went out or something like that, if you could still go to the ATM. And it was Space Force saying, we're the reason why you could. Yeah. I'm gonna see if I can find it real quick. But there are a lot of people that say Space Force runs the internet. They run all the satellites, they run all the cloud. And there are allegations, though I can't speak to the veracity of said allegations, that various people have been replaced by actors. And then under that theory, they claim Elon Musk is one of the people that have been replaced by actors, and that SpaceX is under the control of the U.S. military.
Oh, that's an interesting conspiracy theory.
Yeah. I'm like, If true, it would be very interesting because remember there was the whole claims of the server in Germany in 2020. You remember that people had seized the server and people allegedly that was like the beginning of where we are now, and Space Force can track everything happening in real time. So if there were shenanigans that happened with voting machines, they would be able to see it in real time. If that's the case, that would be pretty cool if they chose to implement, let's say, arrests.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find out. I'm pretty sure it's on X. Let's see here. It was a little bit ago, but okay, so this is just what's that?
I have never heard that.
Let me dig down through this real quick because it was a little bit ago, but have you ever been to the Space Force website?
I have not.
You know what? Let's go.
All right.
Let's go together because this is an interesting website.
Okay.
Watch. Let's share it. There we go. Okay, so here is, you go to spaceforce.mil, right? So if you go and you look, it's your standard stuff for the most part, right? I mean, you got some interesting stuff there, but if you go to, wait, look down here, JAG court-martial docket. What is this? Department of the Air Force. Airmen are presumed innocent unless and until proven guilty. The information on this page is subject to change without notice. Blah, 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 blah. What is going on here? So it looks like there are series of court-martials happening. Let's see here. Okay, so projected start date 4/22. In Texas, the rank of the person, A1C, that's what? I'm not familiar with the Air Force's ranks.
I'm not either.
This guy's in Turkey at Kirkuk Air Base. A1C, SRA. Okay, so let's just click on this and see. All right, so down here, he is, oh my goodness, he is charged with Article 120 SA, sexual assault.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's the very first one. Number 2, Article 120, sexual assault. Article 120, abusive sexual contact. Holy crap, dude. Oh, wait, hold on. I missed one. That's in, okay, this is in South Korea. Oh my God, Article 120B, sexual abuse of a child.
Wow.
What the hell's going on in the Air Force?
Yeah.
SRA T. This is in JV McGuire, Dix Lakehurst in New Jersey, and we have Article 134, child pornography, possession, receiving, or viewing.
Wow.
Holy crap, dude!
What is going on with the?
Article
you said Air
120.
Force?
I say, yeah. This is Department of the Air Force docket. Holy crap, guys! Look at this. Charleston, last name Kellogg. Article 120, sexual assault. Article 120, abusive sexual contact. UK. Oh my dear Jesus. Article 120B, rape of a child. 120B, sexual abuse of a child. 120B, sexual abuse of a child. 134, child pornography. Possession, receiving, or viewing. Article 134, child pornography production.
What is going on? Wow.
This is at Andrews Air Force Base. 120, sexual assault. Okay, so yeah, up here, SSG is staff sergeant. Hold on, I'm going to go back up here. Airman first class. So A1C is airman first class. SRA is senior airman. Okay. Yeah, dude, this is an entire page. Okay, hold on. We got something different, which is 112A, wrongful use of Schedule 1, 2, or 3 drugs. Article 134, indecent conduct. So they probably got high and pulled their willy out or something. That's pretty standard military goofy stuff. But we're talking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. 8 of those before you get to 9, because that's child pornography distribution. Yeah, and then it goes right back. Abusive sexual contact, assault consummated by a battery.
That is terrible.
Broadcast distribution of an intimate images of another, distribution of Schedule 1, 2, 3 drugs. Good God, man.
What is going on?
Right? Abusive sexual contact, domestic violence, wrongful use of Schedule 1, 2, 3 drugs. And it goes, look at all this.
It keeps going down.
Yeah. This is sexual abuse of a child. That's, look, simple assault consummated by a battery, drunkenness, drunken disorderly. That's the kind of stuff I expect to see when doing this. Sexual assault, abusive sexual contact, sexual assault, dereliction of duty, abusive sexual contact, obstructing justice. Dude.
Yeah.
This is different than what I was going to show you, but yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just going to pick another random one.
What is going
Wrongful
on?
use of scheduled drugs, indecent viewing, recording, broadcasting, conduct unbecoming of a gentleman. Second lieutenant.
Wow.
This guy's a colonel. Assault, domestic violence, lieutenant colonel. Dude, what the hell is going on with the Air Force? Now I kind of want to look at the other branches.
Probably, I wouldn't be surprised if the list was just as long in the other.
Yeah, this is interesting for everybody out there saying nothing's happening. There are court-martials happening right now.
Yeah.
In the Air Force for lots of very icky things.
Yes. Very icky.
That is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
That is very, very interesting. I want to just like dive through this real quick. All right, so yeah, dude, another child pornography, rape of a child.
Wow.
Holy crap, guys. Essay of a sexual assault of a child, extramarital sexual contact, sexual abuse of a child, patronizing a prostitute. This had to be like a sting operation or something.
That could be.
Dude, or either that or justice is finally coming. One of the two, because this is a big list. So this is on the docket. Here's the end dates. Okay, so this was, guilty. Failure to obey order or regulation. Drugs. Guilty. Drugs. Guilty. Okay, these are all other offenses under Article 134, domestic violence. Sexual assault, indecent conduct, guilty. Senior airman. Murder with intent to kill or inflict great bodily harm and obstructing justice. Verdict, guilty.
Wow.
What is the sentence? Discharge, confinement for 12 months, total forfeiture, read to AB. I don't know what that means. Red, reduction to the abbreviated enlisted rank listed. Okay. Yeah, so they busted him down to airman, but they kicked him out anyway. I don't know what BCD is. Bad conduct discharge. That's what that is. Okay. So basically they were kicked out of the military and put in jail for a year for that, which I'm not sure if that's enough time.
I was going to say, yeah.
That doesn't seem like nearly enough time. But okay, here's one. 3 counts, sexual abuse of a child. Verdict, guilty. Here's who participated. Discharge. DD, which is dishonorable discharge. So there's apparently 3. There's dismissal, that's officer only. DD is dishonorable discharge. BCD is a bad conduct discharge. Now, I'm not a veteran. I'm not sure what the difference is in bad conduct discharge and dishonorable.
Yeah, I don't know.
We could look it up, but here's what I'm more concerned with. Confinement for 22 months and reprimanded. So 2 years for 3
that
counts of sexual abuse of a child.
Wow. That is not enough
That makes
time.
me feel much less good about this happening than I did, because these are not long enough sentences as far as I'm concerned.
No. That's really surprising.
Yeah, let's see. Indecent conduct. Okay, yeah, these are your 120B, rape of a child. Confinement for 30 months, read to AB, reprimand. They didn't even kick him out. Master Sergeant K. Griffin.
He didn't even
Article-
get discharged.
Article 120B, rape of a child. He was charged with raping a kid.
And they didn't throw him out.
He was found guilty. This was completed February 29th, 2024. He was found guilty.
And that was the only thing
Sentence, confinement for 30 months, reduction to AB, reprimand. Which means reduction, reduction to the abbreviated enlisted rank listed. So he was a master sergeant. They busted him down to AB, which is, I don't know if that's, I think that's like airman something.
That's not a good enough sentence.
No, dude. Hell no. Hell no. 30 months.
How did they get away with that? Wow.
I don't even know, man. This is like, okay, this one was acquitted. Okay, so it looks like, yeah, acquitted. So if they don't put the name, then they were acquitted. I could see that. I mean,
yeah.
Yeah. This is. I'm just curious. I just want to see something here. There's a lot.
Interesting thing that you found.
This person was found guilty of possessing, receiving, or viewing child porn, discharge, bad conduct discharge, confinement for 30 months. So you get the same sentence for raping a child that you do for having child porn. 30 months. And 30 months is not enough.
No.
Anyway, that was a weird little thing. Okay, so if you go down here to join the Space Force.
Okay.
Watch this. This is cool. You've never been here, right?
Nope.
This is neat. I don't have the audio on, but yeah. So incoming signal, space is closer than you think, right? And you click enter.
Headed to the launch pad momentarily.
See if you guys
LDA copies all. LDA reports the range is cleared to launch.
And then you go like various things, right? So if you click on that, it tells you like lightning protection system. These towers are equipped with.
Launch zone. Stand by for clearance.
That's cool.
Yeah.
No, I've never seen this.
Aircraft has cleared, so we are cleared for liftoff.
And watch this.
Lima
So
Charlie, pre-launch on screen protocol confirmed.
it tells you what all the stuff is.
Space Force launch team, this is the FML conducting a readiness poll for cryogenic tanking FtF.
And then it's got all the stuff in the background that you can hear, which is really cool.
We are
Watch
cleared
this.
to launch. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition. We have liftoff of the Vulcan Centaur rocket carrying GPS-3 payload for the United States Space Force. Vehicle is 5 miles overhead. Speed is Mach 1. Supersonic. We've reached engine cutoff. Burn 1 complete. Stage 1 separation successful. Stage 2 ignition.
That's cool.
Yeah, and then there's different stuff, right? You could, right? So you click down here, deploy satellite.
We've reached our desired orbit. Initiate payload deployment. Engine powering down, but link GPS 3.
And then you can like click the different parts, and then when you go to become a guardian, it gives you a quiz, right? Because you're saying, yeah, I want to join the Space Force, and it gives you a quiz about like what you enjoy doing and where your strong areas are. Like if you're in, if you're really good mechanically, if you're really good at this, and it'll recommend careers in the Space Force for you, which is pretty cool. But that is very interesting, the findings on the court martial.
Yeah.
Like, very interesting. That I think that could be a whole show in and of itself. I'm interested to see if other armed forces
Are
have
bad?
the same kind of.
We should look that up tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay, so tomorrow, 4:00, we're gonna have another show. I think we might dig into the other branches just as real quick to see if it's following the same pattern. Because if it is, that's a lot. That's like almost the entire first page.
Mm-hmm.
So either our military has a serious problem with this, or there's some sort of operation going on right now. Obviously, we as the public, we don't know. I don't know what's happening in the Air Force or the Space Force or anything like that.
The media doesn't cover it.
Right. Speaking of media not covering it, I sent you that article. I don't know if you got a chance to watch it or look at it. They replaced the head of the medical research laboratory. The Navy did. Did you see that?
I did not. Did you send it to me?
Mm-hmm. It was a while ago. Hold on. Let me bring it up for you. I'll show you real quick and then we'll call it a day. Let me see. Navy. Hold on. You know what? I got a better way to do this. I'm just going to have to find it on my timeline. Okay. So let's see here. Oh, that's no. I'll find it. Give me just a minute, because I could have sworn we covered this, but maybe I didn't. Oh, you know what? I do want to show this. Okay, so those of you who watch the show, I had mentioned previously about a graphic that I had that showed the Patriot Act and how ineffective it's been. I was able to track that down. It's on my Twitter/X account, right? So. Okay, so this is from the ACLU website, and it did take some digging. But this says, hastily passed 45 days after 9/11 in the name of national security, the Patriot Act was the first of many changes to surveillance laws that made it easier for the government to spy on ordinary Americans. We all know what it does by this point. NSLs, which are national security letters, are issued by FBI agents without a judge's approval to obtain personal information. The NSL can be used for phone records, computer records, credit history, banking history. Senator Ron Wyden, Democrat from Oregon, said, I want to deliver a warning. When the American people find out how their government has secretly interpreted the Patriot Act, they will be stunned and they will be angry. And I could not agree more. Look at this. Between 2003 and 2006, the FBI issued 192,499 NSLs, which led to one terror conviction. Here's the thing. The conviction would have occurred even without the Patriot Act. So this one, but we got one, it would have happened regardless. It gets worse. Patriot Act does not require information obtained by NSLs to be destroyed, even if the information is determined to concern innocent Americans. In other words, they hold on to that stuff forever. At least 34,000 law enforcement and intelligence agents have access to phone records collected through NSLs. In response to 9 NSLs, just 9, 11,100 Americans' telephone account records were turned over to the FBI. Now, this is current, I think, up to like 2006. It's an older graphic. Already, look at the numbers, right? 143,074 NSLs. Between 2003 and 2005, the FBI made a total of 53 reported criminal referrals to prosecutors. Out of 143,000 NSLs they gathered, 53 were referred to prosecution. Now, you say, okay, that's 53 people that were referred to prosecution. 17 of them were for money laundering. 17 related to immigration. 19 involved fraud. 0 for terrorism. None.
Wow.
Talks about sneak and peek searches. 76% were drug related, 24% for other, less than 1% for terror related. This is in 2010, so it at least goes up to there. So the Patriot Act is one of the biggest abuses of power our government has ever perpetrated on the American people.
Yep.
It's just that simple. So if you go to aclu.org/patriot, I think is where it used to be, but I had to dig a bit to find it. But it's on my X account for those that are interested. But I want to find this real quick because you hear about NPR?
I did. Are you talking about the guy that was fired for saying that NPR was biased?
Yep.
Yeah. Fox has been covering it.
Oh man, where is it? I know I shared it. Did I pass it? You know what? All right. There it is. Okay, I found it. So, yeah.
To the paywall?
Oh, there we go.
Okay.
Now you got to look for the little continue without supporting thing or whatever. Okay. So the Navy fires commander of biomedical research lab. The Navy, this is Captain Abigail Y. Martyr. Okay, which is an odd name, isn't it? Murder.
Yeah.
They fired her due to a loss of confidence in her ability to command. It says such boilerplate language. That's standard when they replace someone in a command position. That's why they do it. Because, yeah, okay. Officials did not immediately respond to follow-up questions. It says they're expected to uphold the highest standards of responsibility, reliability, and leadership. The Navy holds them accountable when they fall short. Commander Michael Prouty has assumed temporary command of the unit, and Martyr has been temporarily reassigned to Naval Medical Research Command. Now, formerly known as Naval Medical Research Unit 6, this command monitors and researches infectious diseases in Central and South America. Its main hub is on a Peruvian naval base, but the command also runs a satellite lab on an air base in Honduras. I found it interesting because the Navy really doesn't do that very often. They don't yank somebody and tell people.
True.
Like, yeah, this is the Navy Times, but like this literally just like popped up in my feed. And I'm like, that's weird. And I looked into it. Yeah. I could have sworn I sent it to you, but like we send stuff to each other all the time. It's probably. Now, here's another interesting part. I looked into the guy that's replacing her. Okay. His name, again, Commander Michael Prouty. Now, at the time, this was brand new when I saw it. So I went to look up his career, right? And you can like go to the database that tells you. His link kept giving me a 404 error. It didn't work. We're gonna look again. All right, so there's LinkedIn. Here, hold on. Let's see if it's working now. This is what it brings up. Just a blank page. Maybe on the wrong thing. Let's take a look. Here we go.
Okay.
Okay, so it's working now. This is the guy who replaced her. And I said at the time, I'm like, I'm not trying to get into crazy stuff. It's possible they're just updating it. And it looks like that's, what it is. Let's see here. While stationed at National Medical Research Center, Prouty was deployed in 2011 to the Mideast in support of Operation New Dawn as the microbiologist assigned to the Forward Deployed Preventative Medicine Unit. It was his duty to conduct surveillance for infectious disease threats among deployed troops and to provide force health protection, guidance, and support. Didn't we have an infectious disease not that long ago? From 2012 to 2015, Prouty was stationed at one of the U.S. Navy's overseas laboratories, Naval Medical Research Unit 2, NAMRU 2, in Cambodia. He was responsible for directing disease surveillance systems in cooperation with the Cambodian Ministry of Health. Additionally, he worked closely with the Health Department and Royal Canadian Armed Forces to develop the first real-time disease non-battle injury surveillance system in Cambodia and to establish diagnostic microbiology capability in 3 military hospitals. 2015, he came back where he became the head of the Office of Emerging Infectious Diseases and head of the Enterotoxigenic Escherichia coli vaccine program. Holy crap, that's a lot. In 2016, he became acting director of field laboratory operations for NMRC. In 2018, he was named the head of the Enteric Diseases Department. Enteric, I don't know. 2019 to 2022, Commander Prouty was stationed at the Naval Medical Research Unit 6, NAMRU 6, the one that we were talking about, headquartered in Lima, Peru. There he served as the Deputy Director for Science and later as the Director for Science, overseeing the command research portfolio that encompassed programs in 8 countries in the Southcom area. Blah, 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 blah. 2022, he became Executive Officer, which was of NAMRU 6, which was later renamed Naval Medical Research Unit South in 2023. 24, Interim Commanding Officer, NAMRU South. His personal awards include the Meritorious Service Medal, 3 awards, the Navy Marine Corps Commendation Medal, 2 of them, the Navy Marine Corps Achievement Medal, as well as various unit and campaign awards. So that's who they replaced her with. I did find it interesting, but it's up there now. So that wasn't nearly as interesting as I thought. But I figured if I was going to open it, I might as well read it to you guys.
Oh, yeah.
Put it on screen, But interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. A lot of interesting things. So tomorrow, 4 p.m., we'll see you then. And I think we're gonna dig in. I think we're gonna look at the other armed forces, and see if we can find their ongoing court-martial proceedings and what that's about. Because I'm intrigued. Now,
yeah,
that's a lot, dude. Like
that was a lot.
That's a lot. All right. Good night, everybody. God bless you. God bless Indiana, and God bless the United States.
If you'd like to support the show, please visit our Patreon at patreon.com/Dion's Daily Dose. This has been Dion's Daily Dose, hosted by Dion Bergeron. Executive producers, Sean Holgram and Michael Beebe. Copyright 2024. Dion's Daily Dose, all rights reserved.